Hey guys, I'm TLC and welcome to my new segment called Kinky Gaming, where Big Daddy Gamer and I answer a few of your questions about relationships, sex and kink. If you have more questions, just send them in and give me a thumbs up. All the links are in the description below. Enjoy!
Okay, let's see. There was one in the stream here that I need to get back to. Earlier when you were talking about learning things or learnings about sex from gay people, they want to know more. They want
Okay, what I mean by that.
Right.
Okay, well, I think there's so much being assumed when a man and a woman sleep with each other. Like, you both will consent, like, just think about the first date. You'll both consent to sex, and then, like, the communication a lot of times stops. You decide that, okay, you're gonna have sex, and then there's, like, so much stuff that's gonna be assumed. Let's make out until we're horny enough, and then let's do the good old heterosexual sex. Like, most often, like, you start off missionary or things like that, and there's, like, 2 or 3 positions you're just gonna default on, and that's like, all there is. Like, most couples stop talking at that point when they're having sex for the first time. And for gay people, like, they consent to fucking each other and then they start talking, because who does what to whom is not a given. Does someone like to be a bottom or a top, or are they even gonna do anal, or are they gonna have blowjobs or mutual masturbation, or, you know, a huge part of gay men don't consider sex to be just anal. And once you start actually talking about what you're into, it's easy to talk kink. It's easy to say, hey, why don't you spank me a little? Or, hey, how do you feel about feet? We're gonna go back to that. I know that squeaks you out, but once you start actually talking about what you're into, it's easy to just say things like, can you call me a little bitch when I'm about to come, or stuff like that. So talking to the partner, finding out what the other person is into, and then having the sex on exactly those terms matters so much more. And I think it's sad and kind of annoying that gets lost a lot of times when it comes to, like, straight people having sex. The thing is, a lot of straight people have sex one way or just an assumed way until they start getting bored of it, and then there's a problem and they try to fix it by spicing things up. And the other way around, let's have fun, let's try everything, let's put everything on the table and decide what works for both of us with no expectations or no pressure of having to fix a problem. And then they found out what they're most into, and they never actually get to the problem part of it. And imagine how empowering it would be in a straight relationship when you consent to sex and then you ask each other, so, what are you into, you know? If it's a given that you're actually going to talk about that, and everything's on the table, everything. Like, imagine how empowering it would be, like, for example, to come back to the statistics that, like, around 70% of women cannot come from, like, penetration alone. You know, imagine how empowering it would be for a woman to just say, well, I'm not that much into vaginal, or, like, not only into vaginal, but I'd love to suck your dick, for example, you know? Because for a gay guy to say I'm not into anal is not a big deal, because there's so many other things you can do. And for straight people, just assume sex means this one thing, you know? And that's a very narrow definition of sex. For example, like, penetration is hot and it's awesome, but you also have to sync up perfectly in rhythm and speed, and if you want to change a position, it develops into a game of Twister. And I have freaking long hair that somehow always ends up being rolled upon and that hurts and stuff like that. I'm ranting now, but some days a woman will still get horny, but they maybe not want to get fucked, you know? But they still get horny, they still want to do something, you know? And all I'm saying is that for a lot of straight people, if you have sex, it's expected that you're going to have penis and vagina sex. But, and this goes, like, to all the straight guys hearing this, you would get laid so much more often in a relationship if women could just opt out of penetration for the night without you getting sad over it or having your feelers hurt like a kid who doesn't get his favorite toy. You'd get more blowjobs, you get more handjobs, and, like, more fun with toys and more fun with kinks, you know? And if each time you said yes to sex would mean that like, we're gonna take out the strap on and fuck you instead, you wouldn't say yes every single day either. So just, like, I don't know, that's stuff we can learn from gay people, and I think that's cool, you know? Like, imagine how empowering that would be.
Correct.
I love you.
Did Natalie just said she loves me?
She did.
Oh, love you too, Natalie.
I think she may have a woman crush.
Oh, so she obviously agrees with what I said about getting fucked.
Yeah, she's over here going, yes, yes, yes!